Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Boulevard Home Game of the Week here on this Friday night. And I say game of the week, we've had a lot of games this week. It is the Coach Walker Classic. A lot of action here when it comes to some Region 9 basketball, as a lot of our Region 9 teams here for the Coach Walker Classic. The game here tonight in our nightcap this Friday evening, you have the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs and the Riverton Silverwolves. Here with me tonight, I have Ben Lindquist. Ben, we ready for some good action between these two teams tonight?
Day two of the Coach Walk Classic, and I've had some good basketball the first couple of days, and this is kind of the nightcap for us. So we see Crimson square off at home.
Yeah.
After a difficult defeat last night, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's been kind of a rough go for Crimson this season. They've been up, they've been down, a little bit of everywhere and in between. So it's good to see them here at home now, taking on Riverton tonight. Yeah, tough game last night, as you mentioned, and I believe it's against Ridgeline, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
yep.
And Ridgeline, played just before this as well, and they do look like a solid team in 4A basketball this season.
Yeah, they're returning a little more veteran leadership there, where Crimson returns one starter from a team that played in the semifinals last year up in Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of familiar faces for this Crimson team, but as you mentioned, most of them are coming off of the bench anyway. So this is a young team. They've got to kind of figure out who they are still, what their identity is. They got to come together and figure that out still this season, and they'll get there. Region play, though, right around the corner, starting up next week before they head off for Christmas break. So this tournament is actually a really big stepping stone to what the future brings for the rest of the season. And just today and tomorrow left before region play starts. So you got to take in these moments, and especially when you're playing up to teams like Riverton. And this is 4A basketball for us, but Riverton, they're above that grade. So you got to make sure that you are, you got to be gracious hosts, but not too gracious.
Well, this is exactly what the preseason's all about, right? You want to get some experience for your new guys. You want to see that gelling come together as a basketball team. And you want to see some unfamiliar foes so that you can see where your team's at on defense, be able to try some different zones, some presses, some different set plays. Next week, we've got a crazy region tip-off with Crimson at home facing Dixie, who won in overtime today in the what was that, 6 o'clock game, I think. So,
yep.
This is what the preseason's all about. And if you're Coach Murdoch, this is one of those tests that you want to see how your team responds after being down 1 at half and getting end up being beat by 20.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's hop into the Team D Auto Sales keys to the game here. Thank Team D Auto Sales for being a great sponsor of Region 9 Athletics. You can find them on 488 East St. George Boulevard or teamdautosales.com. Ben, some Team D Auto Sales keys to the game here for Crimson tonight.
Well, and this is one that you and I talked about a lot last year with Crimson. It's the turnovers. You've got to be able to take care of the ball in region basketball and high school basketball, especially because it's 32-minute or full games. You've got 8-minute quarters, so taking care of the basketball is critical. And this is a Crimson team that struggled last year with it and has been off and on this year. They've had some good games where they've been able to take care of it, but last night nearly 20 turnovers. It's just too many, and so that's got to be the key to the game. They've got to get big Sean Feltz going, the biggest guy on the court once again, 6'11". Finally, that senior leadership out there where he's had so many years of being a junior on the JV team, and so this is a critical game for him because he's got to get into that mode going into region, especially against a guy like Kyle Lemke next week.
Yeah, and for Riverton, they have been a team that has had some good success so far early in the season. Haven't played nearly as many games, but they're still seeing the success from it and winning some games. So for them, they're again, when you talk about identity, it seems like they kind of figured it out early enough to where they're able to get some wins. So we'll see what they can bring to the table in this one tonight.
Yeah, I think for Riverton, they've got to make sure this is their second game in 2 days on the road in a hostile environment. You got to make sure that you don't start slow, especially against Crimson, because they're an emotional team. So if they can get going, that's a team that you got to make sure you don't let them get a 10 or 11 point lead, because Crimson will put you out of your misery early.
That's exactly right. Now let's hop in as we are getting ready for tip-off here shortly to our House of Jump starting lineups. You can purchase 1 hour of jump time Monday through Thursday. Mention that you heard us talking about it right here on the Fan Sports Network, and that'll get you $10 towards the arcade for free. House of Jump starting lineups for the visiting team, Riverton Silverwolves. Number 1 is Evan Barrett, point guard, junior. Number 5 is Ben Barris. Number 12, Caden Allred. Number 23, Zach Edwards. And number 50, Christian Henninger. It's your starting lineup for Riverton tonight. And for Crimson Cliffs, you have number 2, Scoop Johnson. Number 12, Drake Carroll. Number 22, Sean Feltz. Number 23, Trevor Taylor. And number 24, McKay Lindquist. Getting ready to start this one off. And they're going to start this nightcap off with the national anthem. So we're going to step aside, take about a 3-minute break. When we return, we'll be ready for tip-off here on the Fan Sports Network. Stick around.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. Hearst General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
Everyone loves local sports and, of course, loves ice cream. And the best ice cream on the planet is Handel's Homemade Ice Cream. Open late every day of the week with dozens of delicious flavors. So after your favorite team wins, head over to Handel's to celebrate with locations in St. George, Layton, and Woods Cross.
What's up, sports fans? It's Blair Fry with the Fry team at Red Rock Real Estate. Let's be honest. You know what's addicting? Football. You know what else is addicting? Looking for homes or investment properties. Let the Fry team at Red Rock Real Estate coach you through your real estate addictions.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home because home is who we are.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's the Fan Sports Network here, broadcasting live again from Crimson Cliffs High School. Getting ready for the nightcap game this Friday night, the second day, day 2 of the Coach Walker Classic. Now, this has been a tournament that has been a staple in Southern Utah for many, many years, and we're happy to continue on with that in tonight's action. They'll be back at it tomorrow. All of tomorrow's games, more of those afternoon games. You can head on over to thefansportsnetwork.com where there's a list of the varsity games available on the website. Click on that Region 9 tab, and you can see what the schedule of events is for tomorrow as well.
And Kate, do we know who was the originator of the like unique handshake? I feel like everyone does it now. Everyone's got a hype guy at the end of the warm-up line or the starters line. They're doing these creative multi-second handshakes. Like, who's the first one to say we need to have some cool handshake? That
when I was in high school, it wasn't a thing. It's a recent thing that's come around for sure, but I don't know how everyone knows what the unique handshake is for every single person. You know, like,
yeah, like how do you remember
that's creativity. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to remember. It's impressive, though. It's impressive.
We've got some unique stuff going out there. Some arrow shooting, some saluting, some bowing, some kind of martial arts moves.
Some dance moves. You got a little bit of everything for sure.
We're going to have to, maybe our producer can do some fact-checking on that, on the originator of the handshake, the unique handshake.
Hey, well, we know the high five started in the world of baseball. not all that long ago and has become a major staple in not just sports, but just culture in general. So who knows, maybe the unique handshake will become a part of the business world or something like that. As we know, you go into a business meetings and everybody has their own unique handshake.
I hope not.
Getting ready to start this thing with Riverton now ready to go at center court. Jumping for Riverton will be Christian Henninger. And I got to say, he's probably got the best hair out of anybody on the court tonight.
Yeah, I think he's 6'10", but he's probably 7 foot with the hair. And this is going to be probably the biggest guy that Sean Felt sees all season.
You know, and Sean's tall.
He's 6'11".
But Christian Henninger's got a little
He's
size to him,
got 2 inches of
too.
hair for sure, yeah. Yep.
This may be one of the tallest tip-offs we'll see this season.
I think you're right.
Because Sean's one of the tallest we have in our region, and he's actually going up against someone that's about his same height here.
A combined 14 feet.
Tip goes in favor of Riverton, and we are underway. And it's Henninger getting the ball up top, looking to get it down low, and does to Edwards. Edwards goes up, and it's blocked by Taylor. And ball's on the ground. It's kicked by Riverton. It'll be Crimson Cliffs basketball, and Drake Carroll will take the ball out of bounds.
And just as much as we talked about Riverton starting fast, it's just as critical for Crimson that they get out to a quick start, limit the turnovers, and get some easy buckets.
Scoop Johnson in control of it to start things off. He takes it over to the right side, looking down low. Feltz, good for 2. Crimson Cliffs on the board early.
Strangely, last night, Caden, Crimson only had 2 points in the entire fourth quarter.
Ball is on the ground, body on the ground. That's Evan Barrett that went down. And the whistle will bring it out of bounds here. Inbounding Ben Barris for the Silverwolves. Barris into Barrett. Dribbles it over to the far side, brings it back this way, trying to cut inside. Floats it up from 15 feet out, not there. Tipped around, Lindquist with the rebound. He brings it up himself, all over to Taylor on the right side, into the corner. Quick pass down low to Feltz. Feltz back out to Johnson, pump fake, swinging it across the side. Lindquist in the left corner. Back up top to Taylor. Taylor to Johnson. Johnson trying to penetrate in with 15 on the shot clock, over to Feltz. Feltz puts it up and is fouled.
You can see early, Caden, that they're trying to get the ball into the big fella, get Sean Feltz activated early in this game. And really where Crimson's best is in transition. The problem with last night against Skyridge is they couldn't get the stop to get into transition, where already they've got 2 quick stops and they're getting out in the open court, finding the big fella down low.
Missed the first free throw. Free throws today brought to you by Finley Subaru. You can check out their all-star lineup on the savings side of the freeway and finleysubaru.com. Second one rolls around the rim and out. Score remains 2-0 Crimson. Driving in is Barrett over to the far side and bringing it back atop is Barris. Wide open 3, all red, and no. Tipped out by Feltz. It'll stay down low with Riverton.
And that's one you always want back as a shooter, where you get wide open and you're just a little bit quick. But so far, I like Crimson's intensity on defense versus what we saw last night.
All red trying to get it in, and it goes off the leg of Carroll. Again, taking the ball down underneath the basket is Riverton, and it'll be Evan Barrett to inbound. Barrett looks to Allred, who takes the corner 3, no good. Rebounded by Henninger. Henninger goes up strong with it and gets 2.
It looks like Henninger's, he's mixed it up. He's got a little bit of tape on the chin there. Looks like maybe he got an elbow from a little guy.
He might have got a little sweet chin music there. Ball on the ground, it rolls. It will go out of bounds and stay with Crimson.
Again, Caden, you can see that the look early is get the ball into Sean and try and go inside out. Looks like there's some confusion on the baseline. I think what they're saying is number 24, Lindquist, might have been out of bounds and the ball touched his foot. And what I'd really like to see out of Sean is one time just reverse pivot and square up chest and see the hoop, because he's so tall and he's so athletic that he can really attack from a better position.
Henninger with the ball up top. Waiting for some movement, gets it to Barrett. Barrett pulls back. Back and forth across the top of the key. Now over to Barris on the left. Back over to Edwards. Edwards getting it through Taylor into Henniger, who kicks out. 3 on the way. It's good. Evan Barrett for 3.
And this is a big problem is Drake Carroll. You got to see man and ball. You can't lose him on the weak side. Can't turn to the baseline. You got to open up to the front court.
Drake Carroll up top. Look for the pick from Feltz. Takes it into the corner to Johnson, who pulls the trigger for 3. No good. Rebound, Barrett. Barrett over to Edwards. Edwards taking it over to the side. 3 on its way, no good. And Lindquist with the rebound. Quickly up court to Johnson, who gets fouled. That foul goes against Caden Allred.
And you'll notice already, Caden, that one of the things that Coach Murdoch stressed all season is getting the ball up the floor, and even in a slower transition, putting pressure on the defense.
Taylor will inbound. Gets it into Lindquist in the corner. Gets down low to Feltz. Feltz looking for somewhere to work outside. Drives in baseline. Loses his footing, and it's Riverton ball. Here comes the Silverwolves into the left side. 3, no good. Rebound, Lindquist, and he goes the other direction, stripped from behind by Edwards. Now Barris goes up against Taylor and backs it right back out. Down low now, Edwards. Edwards up against Johnson. Spins one way, spins back the other. Johnson strips it away.
And Johnson, Scoop may have some of the best hands in high school basketball in the state of Utah. He's so active. If you show it to him, there's a good chance he's going to steal it.
Give and go. Lindquist, he'll put it up. He's blocked away by Henniger.
And that's just court awareness. You got to know you got the 7-footer on you. That's a shot fake and get it back out.
And it's Barrett, straightaway 3. It's good. Again, Barrett with another 3-point basket. Lindquist with the ball up top, finds the lane open. Pump fakes from the free throw line, pump fakes again. Down low, Carroll, beautiful assist for 2. Drake Carroll with the basket.
Kind of a lost art, the basket cut, but when a guy picks up his dribble as another offensive guy, you have to be able to basket cut, because if you stand, you're easy to guard, Caden.
A little over and back, a turnover for Riverton, and back into the hands of Crimson Cliffs.
We had a good look at that there. That's just that, you know, you got to be able to see that half-court line, make sure that you let the guy come over.
You got to be careful where you're putting that ball on those passes.
Critical possession right here for Crimson. Got to make sure you stay engaged in this thing.
Johnson in the left corner gets it down to Taylor. Taylor posting up, spins one way, spins back, pushes it up, no good, and rebounded by Riverton. Barris slows it down, pointing for a pick from Henniger. Takes it with the left hand, lane to the basket, it's good.
And Crimson has struggled all season with on-ball defense, this principle of keeping your man in front of you.
Scoop Johnson takes it left side baseline, it's poked away, and it'll stay down with the Mustangs.
Four to 10 here. Crimson has got to find a way to get the basketball back inside to Sean Feltz, attacking the inside of the paint to make some good things happen.
Johnson with the scoop shot and the putback by Feltz for 2. Ten to 6. Riverton leads right now with 3 minutes left to go in the first. Corner 3 on its way. It's good from Caden Allred.
And, you know, give credit to Riverton. They've been able to find the open guy, and feet set. Those are easy shots for good shooters.
3 threes for the Silverwolves here to start the game off. Lindquist with ball on the left. Threads the needle down to Johnson. Kicks it back out. Misses his guy, but Taylor recovers. Trying to thread it into the corner, and it's poked away by Barris, who goes the other direction with it. Tries to drive in and goes for the kick out to Barrett. Barrett with the left hand. Blocked by Feltz. And a circus shot, just pushing it up by Allred for another bucket. He's got 5. Lindquist with the ball on the right side. He brings it back up top over to Feltz. Feltz gets it to Carroll. Carroll looking down low. It's pumped away, and it'll stay here with the Mustangs.
And sometimes this is where it's difficult to be able to stay with the game plan of getting it inside, right? You get down 9 points and you start feeling like maybe you got to speed up and do things you're not used to, but they've been successful inside. If they can just keep trying and sticking with the game plan, I think they'll be able to wear them out.
Inbound to Drake Carroll. Carroll takes it over to the far side to Lindquist. Goes back up to Feltz. Feltz hands off to Carroll. Carroll tries to drive in. 5 on the shot clock. Taylor on the left wing has to take a shot. They put one up. No good. And it's a shot clock violation.
And not the best possession there, but great defense. You got to give it to Riverton. They've been able to keep the ball outside, and having a big 7-footer in the paint kind of helps.
And they keep that offense from penetrating inside here as Riverton in control of it now as Bears tries to go inside and it's blocked away again. Good defense on both ends from both of these teams. Here's Johnson, finds the lane, a little hesitation, pushes it up, nothing there though. And it's all red, bringing it the other way. Bears pushes it up, no good, and rebounded by Feltz. Feltz with the quick outlet to Carroll. But Carroll will slow it down here with just over a minute left to play in the first quarter. Lindquist tries to get it down low, but Henninger pokes it away. And with exactly a minute left on the clock and 15 points for Riverton, 6 for the Mustangs on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard.
And I think if you're Coach Murdoch, you're just wanting Sean to post up a little bit higher, get those elbows up a little bit, show your offensive teammate your hands so that he can make an easy pass.
Taylor receives the inbound. Into the game, Jaden Eaton for the Mustangs. Carroll controls the dribble. Looks for the pick from Taylor. Taylor now takes it down low on the block, puts it up, not there. Rebounded by Johnson, who is checked into the game as well. Johnson puts it up, blocked by Taylor. Taylor on the ground, Johnson on the ground.
Just about everybody on the ground.
Just about everybody on the ground.
And you know, this is what I love about Trevor Taylor, is really as a junior provided some leadership for Crimson. Is on offense, he takes up probably what a coach would call a bad shot, but he comes down on defense and he makes it up with the extra effort and energy.
Checking in Noah Nelson for the Mustangs.
And Noah Nelson's a guy that is instant energy. You'll see he picks up on ball, great on defense, a pretty good shooter as well. He's not a guy that if you're Riverton, you want to leave open.
Scoop Johnson controls it. No shot clock, 25 seconds left to play in the first.
And if you're Crimson, you're hoping to get something good here, Caden.
Swings it over to Johnson again. Johnson back to Taylor. Taylor up top to Nelson. Nelson over to the baseline. Carroll outlet Taylor. Taylor with the shot from 3, no good. Offensive rebound, another kick out, and 6 on the clock. Johnson tries to get it down low and throws it away. He's looking for Eaton down low, and Eaton's hands were just not quick enough.
And that's the hard part. We talked about turnover in our keys to the game. 5 turnovers in an 8-minute quarter is just too many.
Riverton with the baseball pass inbound. It's bobbled around, and the shot goes up. Not there.
Ooh, may have gotten away with a little high five. Speaking of the high five, I think we just saw one.
That was Vaughn Johnson on the shot there, and that'll bring up the end of the first quarter. The score 15-6. Riverton leads as we head into the second quarter. We'll take a 45-second break, and we'll return right after this.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that can make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks A stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Into the second quarter we go here on the Fan Sports Network. I want to give a shout out to some of our great sponsors here. Fabulous Freddy's, voted best of Southern Utah for car wash, soda, cookie, and sandwiches. Two great locations in Southern Utah, River Road and Bluff Street. You can make it a fabulous day with Fabulous Freddy's.
It's kind of like Costco. You go into Fabulous Freddy's, and it's just hard not to spend like $28 because they have so much good stuff.
You got to get a sandwich, and you got to go get a drink and Dippin' Dots. And while you're at it, grab some snacks for the road. Down low to Taylor. They break through the defense, and Crimson gets an easy 2 to start.
That's the same play that they opened the game with. It's a great way to get a guy open. And oh, lo and behold, a backdoor screen gets somebody open.
Riker Korekis has checked into the game for Riverton. Barris on the drive has to kick it away, and it's stolen. Johnson on the fast break. The outlet, he tried to put up a circus shot. It was not there. He was too far underneath the hoop. The 3 on the other end, airballed, nothing there either. And it goes out of bounds off of the hand of Blake Robbins.
And that's hard. I don't think Scoop realized he actually could have come down with it. 2-foot stop and maybe turned around and hit a guy trailing for a wide open layup. But, you know, when the ball's coming and you're running full speed, those are hard plays to make.
It's quick decision-making skills, too. As Jaden Eaton throws it to Johnson for the open 3. No good. Rebounded by Johnson. And there's a timeout called by Riverton. They want to clean some things up. It's been a little sloppy in this first minute here of the second quarter, so they take a quick timeout here, and we'll keep it right here as well. And again, want to thank another one of our great sponsors, Bucks Ace Hardware. Bucks has the best selection for guns and ammo, barbecues, lawn garden. Think Bucks, 3 Southern Utah locations. Bucks Ace Hardware, one of our great local partners here in Southern Utah and with Region 9 Athletics.
Love all these local sponsors that just support these student athletes and these schools, these programs, make it so that we can do something we love, cover these great ball games on TV, on the internet, and over the great radio airwaves.
That's right. For all of you listening on 99.5 and 95.3 in St. George, 93.1 in Cedar City, or watching online on the fansportsnetwork.com. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the Fan Sports Network on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of our broadcasts that we have going on this season. Next week, we'll be broadcasting some Region 9 on Region 9 action. It's finally here. For those of you that have been waiting through the preseason, region play will be here just next week.
Hard to believe.
We're right there. We're on top of it. Robbins hands off to Korekis. Up top, driving inside is Johnson. He has to kick out into the corner. It's Barrett being picked up by Nelson. Barrett into the corner. Korekis swinging it across to the other side, left side. Driving in Barris. Open lane, catches the rim and in. Ben Barris for 2.
And that's just too easy if you're trying to get stops consistently. Let a guy go to a strong hand and lay it up in the paint. That's why you just got to keep guys in front of you. And sometimes you're going to give up a 3 here or there, but more often than not, you're going to give away those, or take away those easy buckets in the point.
Taylor with the left-handed shot, not there. Catches in front of the rim, but no good. And going the other way is Ben Barris. From foot inside, it's no good as well from Riverton. And the Mustangs bring it the other way. Carroll on the left wing, looks to drive inside. Over a baseline, gets it to go. Drake Carroll with the basket.
And 17-10 for the Riverton squad on the Crimson Cliffs home floor. Another stop is critical if you want to get this at a normal size chance of a game going into halftime.
Barris looking to go down low. Gets it off the glass, is fouled. So Ben Barris will head to the line.
Again, Caden, I sound like a broken record, but strong hand, 2 dribbles into the paint. That's just too close to the basket.
Yep. 5:33 left to go on the Wilkeson's House Lighting scoreboard. Currently 17-10, looking to extend that lead a little bit more here for the Silverwolves. Barris misses the first. A couple substitutions coming in. Noah Marsden is coming for the Mustangs.
And Noah Marsden had a great game Tuesday night up at Manti. He had 3 threes and fouled on a 3.
Bears gets the second to go, makes it 18-10 here for the Silverwolves. And Eaton inbounds to Carroll to get things started for this Mustang possession. Into the corner is Nelson. He brings it back up top, tries to find a lane inside, goes up against, are they going to count it? And I believe they do on the and one.
Okay. I've seen that call go both ways this season. One where they called it late and he made the basket. They didn't give it to him. This one they called early. He gets the bucket and they do give it to him. So tough to be a ref,
It's
Caden.
tough to be a ref. There was a call in the game between Cedar and Manti that I said, I am glad I am not an official because I did not want to make that call.
And just like that, it's a 5-point ball game, 18-13, 5 minutes and about 20 seconds left in the second.
Barris swings it over to Barrett, into the corner. Krekus gets it into Johnson. Johnson dribbling in, he's double teamed, ball stripped away. No, they'll call a foul against Jaden Eaton.
You got to like what you see, though, because anytime you can be the aggressor on defense, especially when you've only got 2 fouls with 5 minutes left, that's one of those times you can go in there and trap at a guy, turns his back to you, go get a double team on him.
Barrett inbounds to Barris. Barris takes the ball up top, looking to go back. Nope, goes the other side to Johnson. Johnson trying to get it down low. Feltz tips it away a little bit from Henniger. Goes back to Barris. Barris spins out of it, pushes it up, no good, and Feltz on board. And Carroll brings it the other way for the Mustangs. Carroll spinning around, loses control, and Feltz holds on. They'll say it's a kick off of the leg of Christian Henninger.
And if you're Coach Murdoch, you'll take that because a little bit of an out-of-control spin, get a little bit of a break by a kick ball. But again, this is where I'd love to see a couple more screens for Big Sean Feltz. Let him come across wide open and operate in a space that he's comfortable.
Not paying attention, thrown off the back of Noah Nelson. And quickly to the other side is Barris for 2. Makes this a 20-13 ball game here with 4.5 left to play in the second quarter. Carroll pump fakes the 3 and takes it up top again. It's Feltz. Over to Marsden. Marsden will take the 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Barrett. Barrett's picked up with full court pressure by Noah Nelson. Gets through it in a hard pick set. Nelson's on the ground. The shot goes up. And no good, but he hits the line.
That was I got a really good angle on that. It looked like he just kind of stick the old hip out as Noah Nelson came by, and he gave him a little hello.
Just a little hip check. Just lets him know he's there. This is Evan Barrett at the line, the junior point guard for the Silverwolves. He rattles one in for a bucket, and that gives him 7 points so far on the evening. 7 of the 21 for the Silverwolves. Ben Barris also with 7. And now make that 8. Inbound pass to Johnson, and he'll control it.
Again, you'd like to see them go inside right here, Caden, get a little something easy for the big fella.
In the corner, Lindquist, he'll take the 3. Long, but Johnson's there to pick it up, and he hits the bottom of the rim on the shot. Riverton the other way, throws it out of bounds. It'll go back to the Mustangs.
And it just feels like sometimes this Crimson team is just 1 or 2 buckets away from kind of getting some momentum. And we talked about it in the pregame. This is why you play the preseason. You want to be able to get these moments out of the way so that later in the season you gel.
Johnson with the handle up top. Dumps it off to Lindquist. Lindquist goes down low to Feltz. Feltz puts it up from 8 feet out and gets it to go.
And when you're 6'11", being 4 feet from the basket is the best place to go. It's like the beach in the middle of the summer.
That's right. In the corner is Allred. Allred looking down low. Edwards kicks out. Barris drives towards the baseline and has to go back outside again. Going in with it's Edwards to Henninger. Henninger with the push shot, the hook.
Pretty soft touch for the 7-footer. I think that surprised Sean just a little bit.
Johnson gets the pick from Feltz. Feltz gets the handoff from Johnson. Goes to the right side, back and forth. It's Feltz again from the elbow. Not there. And rebounded by the Silverwolves. Barrett will control it with 2:45 left to play here in the half. Henninger with the ball on the left side, hands off to Barrett. He'll take the deep 3. Not there. Saved into the hands of Allred, and Allred will keep the possession alive? No, a foul will put the ball back on the sideline with 13 seconds on the shot clock.
And if you're Crimson right now, you're down 9, just over 2.5 in the second quarter. You probably want to try and get into halftime, maybe down 4 or 5. You take 6, but they've got to close the gap here going into the second half.
Ball goes out of bounds off of the hand of Johnson from the inbound pass, and so they will inbound from right in front of the Mustang bench. Goes into Henniger. Tries to hand it right back. Johnson got a hand on it. And a quick timeout called. They wanted to make sure to save that possession.
Okay. I don't know if he had full possession, but I think anytime a guy makes that extra effort to hustle, I think the refs usually respect that, and that's probably what was the case there.
Well, and I don't know if Johnson was even close enough where they needed to call the timeout either. I think they could have pretty easily saved it, but if you're Crimson, you're saying, hey, take those timeouts now, because if this is a close game towards the end, we want you to not have those. 24-15, Riverton up top right now over the Mustangs.
And a little bit of what has plagued them most of the season, which is taking care of the ball, because when they do take care of the ball, they get in transition. They get the ball down low, and they have good enough shooters and athletes that when they can get those extra possessions, like last night, 20 turnovers, say you cut those in half, that's 10 good shots. Let's say you get 5 good shots. It's 6 and 7 and 8 points that are just critical to winning ball games.
Absolutely. Riverton gets the ball coming out of the timeout. Barrett with the lane, puts it up with the left hand on the right side and drops it in for a 2. Now Johnson hands off to Lindquist, takes it up top, back to the corner and looking down low for Feltz. It will go off his hand out of bounds and be Riverton basketball.
We talk about the fundamentals, and it's kind of a lost art, the ability to make a ball fake and take one dribble and do a little wraparound pass to the guy in the right spot and to the right hand. They don't teach the post entry like they did 10, 15, 20 years ago. But what's funny is the guys are bigger now. They're more athletic. It becomes more critical to have a proper entry pass.
That's right. That's right. Allred. Look for the pick from Henniger. Takes a step back 3. He's open. It's not there. It's tipped. It's tipped again and falls into the hands of Barris. Back to Barrett. Barris again. He drives in over to Henniger. And an offensive foul is called against Ben Barris.
Great job by J.J. Eaton to slide over, of course, the younger brother of Jordan Eaton, a Crimson legend. I think the leading scorer in Crimson Cliffs high school history. Slides over, takes one in the chest, and the ref responds.
Johnson with 1:33 left to go in the first half. Looking for a pick from Feltz, goes the opposite side. Pushes it up from 10 feet out, not there. Feltz tries to follow up with the rebound, but he's not able to get to it in time, and now it's Barrett. Barrett drives in, he puts up a shot, it's not there either, and Feltz gets the board. Pass right into the hands of Riverton, and a foul will send Evan Barrett to the line.
That's where sometimes the big fella needs to know he's the biggest guy on the court. Let the little guy throw one up and try and get it over the top of you.
So that sends, again, Evan Barrett to the line. He's already got 10, make it 11. Leading scorer for the Silverwolves. That brings Trevor Taylor back out onto the court as well, and that'll send Eaton to the bench.
And with 12 points here on this made free throw, 28-15, he's almost outscored Crimson here, 12 to Crimson's 15. A bucket here would be critical and super helpful going into the second half.
And with just a minute left to play in the half, it's Lindquist looking around, gets it back to Carroll. They swing it around the perimeter. Feltz now on the left side. Trying to break through that defensive pressure. Looking for a pick is Johnson. Johnson with a defender on his back. Kicks back to Feltz. The size advantage, gets the shot off. It's not there. And it's rebounded by Barris. 43 left. Into the corner he goes. The corner three's away. It's not there. And rebounded by Carroll. Feltz on the breakaway. He goes up strong, fouled. He'll head to the line.
I got a little nervous seeing the big fella rumbling, tumbling with the ball at half court, but it looks like it worked out. And if he can make both free throws, you're down 11, get one stop, maybe have a 2 or 3 seconds to get another basket in transition. But if you can get this thing down to 11 always sounds a little bit better than 13.
That's true. Feltz at the line. Some of the officials talking with some players here, and now Feltz with the ball in his hands will shoot first of his free throws. And it's a little hard. He gets a roll, though. It goes in, catches some rim.
Caught some rim, caught some backboard, caught a little bit of the pad maybe on the, I mean, that touched it all. Those are the ones where you're like, yeah, it was shooter's touch.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's what you call it, shooter's touch. You take the basket and you move on. Second free throw coming for Sean Feltz. And that one,
what's interesting is sometimes just seeing the ball go in helps the psyche of a basketball player.
Barrett picked up by Carroll with 25 to go.
A little bit of a zone here for Crimson, Caden.
Yeah, going with that 2-3. Edwards up top, and at this point, Riverton probably trying to hold on for a shot. No, as Edwards drives in and kicks it right back out. Barrett with 6. Throws it away right into the hands of Lindquist. He dumps it off to Carroll. 2 on the clock. He puts up the 3. No!
That would have made it interesting. We talked about going in at 11. That would have been going in at 8.
Yeah, well, they're right now sitting at 11, 28-17. A good look by Carroll, but cannot get it to drop. Right now, the Mustangs still trying to hold out for that 3-point basket. We haven't really seen much from them on that aspect of the game. But right now, again, 28-17 as we head into halftime. Rally Stop halftime show coming up here in just a moment. We're going to step aside, take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be back right after these messages from our local partners.
Red Rock Real Estate has over 200 professional realtors in the St. George area that specialize in the local market. Whether you're buying your dream home, looking for an investment property, or want to sell your home for the highest amount, the Red Rock Real Estate team is here to assist you. Get started now by visiting redrockrealestate.com.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the Cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry are game changers. So when it comes to checkups, a toothache, or any problem with your kid's teeth, call experienced veteran Dr. Cody Johnson at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 628-0511.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court. Red Ledge's Dermatology and Med Spa, specializing in general and cosmetic dermatology, treating acne, rashes, warts, and more. They even do cancer screenings and offer a free chemical pill with your first appointment. So if you need dermatology, think Red Ledge's Dermatology, located just off Snow Canyon Parkway, St. George.
Relatives coming to visit, not enough room, or maybe you're looking to host a family reunion and need a house with a pool. Well, Red Rock Vacation Rentals has got you covered. From 2-bedroom condos to 10-bedroom luxury homes, they truly have something for everyone. Plan your perfect getaway or staycation. Visit stgeorgeutahvacationrentals.com. The Fan Sports Network is your home for local sports. Catch The Drive with Devin Dixon from 7 to 9, and From the Bleachers with Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave from 4 to 6. Plus, Utah Tech and high school sports live on the radio and streaming on thefansportsnetwork.com.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Hello? Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Welcome into the Rally Stop halftime show here on the Fan Sports Network. Rally Stop. Got to swing on into Rally Stop after the game for your post-celebration needs. Get all your snacks, refuel. No better place to refuel than Rally Stop. Into the side of the halftime show here, let's revisit those Team D Auto Sales keys to the game. One of the things we talked about was turnovers. That has been one of the key aspects of this game is turnovers. There have been a lot of them so far from both teams.
Yeah, and you expect that to an extent early in the season, but if it's your Achilles heel, it's certainly something that you're wanting to get better at each and every game. But I think when you look at it, it's affected Crimson more than it's affected Riverton. But maybe the great equalizer has been the three-pointer by Riverton. They've got, I mean, 3 so far, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
3 3-pointers, and that's basically almost the difference in the game, where Crimson has none off of 4 or 5 attempts.
Yeah, and looking at Riverton's stats here, you have Evan Barrett right now sitting with 12 points. Ben Barris with 7. Caden Allred's coming with 5. So right now you're looking at those guys that are your major scorers. And really, I mean, there's only 4 guys that have points at all right now for Riverton. Surprisingly, the big guy down low, Henninger, only 4 points. But Sean Feltz, I don't know if he's faced anybody as tall as Big Sean. You know, it's not very often you're seeing guys in high school nowadays that are 7 feet tall. So
yeah, the battle of the Twin Towers.
That's right. That's right. On the Crimson Cliff side, though, Sean Feltz, speaking of Big Sean Feltz, he's got 8 leading scores for Crimson Cliffs. So he's really been their go-to guy. And he's taking advantage of some mismatches. Some different defensive maneuvers have led Riverton to create some space for Sean where he's got some shots off, but he hasn't been able to capitalize too much off of those yet. Some missed opportunities, maybe those can clean up a little bit and he can get a few more points on the board.
And if you're Riverton, you're saying, okay, we're up 11, second day of a 3-day tournament. A lot of the same. Let's make sure we take care of the basketball. Let's make sure that we get it to the open guy. And probably let's feed the big fella, Mr. Henniger, who's 7 foot and has been successful down low when he gets the ball close by. If you're Crimson, obviously you're saying limit the turnovers, get out in transition, and maybe just a little bit more sense of urgency on the defensive end where those balls are going up, those 50-50 balls is the cliche term in basketball and football. Make sure you secure more of those so that you can get out in transition. And then I would say be a little more patient. Be a little more disciplined on offense so that you can find the best shot, not just a good shot, but sometimes the best shot.
Yeah, and sometimes that best shot finds its way in key moments, and sometimes it doesn't last for too long. You got to take it when you get it. And there have been a few times where I've seen the opportunities where it's there and they either haven't taken it or they do take the open opportunity and it just doesn't go down for them. And if I'm coach, I want to make sure that I'm telling those guys when, hey, you made a good choice here. There was an open shot. I know you missed, but I love those shots. Keep taking those ones, right? You have to know when the right opportunities are there, and if it doesn't go down, that's okay. At least you're making the right choice.
Yeah, time and time again, if you're doing the right things consistently, whether in life or in any sport, as a coach, you can live with it, but as a player, you have to live with it because over time, you're going to be successful. And so I think you're spot on, Caden, which is, look, those are good shots. Those are good plays. More of those, less of the other stuff, as we would say.
That's right. The defenses look pretty good for Crimson so far. They have had some pretty good moments where they're able to stop Riverton, some blocked shots, some steals, tipping the ball away. I like that, getting your hand in the passing lane. All of those key things you're supposed to be doing on the defensive side. I'm seeing a lot of that right now. Got to keep up with that throughout this second half of play here this evening.
And I think the big thing for Crimson is going to be, not even Crimson, both teams. It's going to be how do they respond coming out of half in the third quarter. Whoever has the most energy, look for that. Whoever's going out for those 50-50 balls, diving on the floor, making the extra effort, that's the kind of energy that I think whoever shows that and exhibits that early here in the third quarter will probably win. Even Crimson, who's down 11, I think if they come out the aggressor, that's the indicator you're looking for.
That's right. That's right. With halftime getting ready to wrap up here shortly, we're going to be getting you ready for that second half of play. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we return, we'll be setting up for the second half here from Crimson Cliffs High School. We'll be back right after this.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that can make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks Ace stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
Back at it here at Crimson Cliffs High School as we're wrapping up the halftime show. Let's get on into our Nets on Fire Region 9 scoring updates. Hoop at Nets, the individual training facilities. Go to netsonfire.org. Building champions on and off the court.
Gotta love Nets on Fire, where we had our Region 9 opening press conference for all of the basketball teams and girls and boys basketball. Thank you, Nets on Fire.
Nets on Fire has been absolutely fantastic for us this season, and every season they're always there for our athletes. They've been phenomenal. So let's look at some of the scores. Dixie was in a tough one earlier against Timpview. Well, they pull off the win. It was not an easy win, but you know what? They pull off the win, and that's kind of all that matters, right?
An overtime win. Kyle Lemke with 20-plus points again, including, I think, 8 or 9 in overtime. After a heartbreaking loss last night by, I believe, 1 or 2.
By about 2 to Orem.
Orem 5A or 6A this year?
Ooh, 5.
I think they're 5A.
I think they're 5A.
Yeah, I think they're 5A. So a great early test for Dixie, which I think they'll appreciate later in the season.
They get the win 74-73. Lemke had 25 points. It's pretty solid. There have been a few score updates. Pineview at one point was 53-52. I don't know where that one has ended up. 55-52, I think, was the final.
Yeah, and then, of course, I think Snow Canyon lost earlier in the evening.
Yeah, and Cedar lost as well.
Yep, Cedar lost to Manti. Yep, that's.
So there's a few of your updates from the Nets on Fire scoreboard as we now head into the third quarter here. And Riverton will start things off. It's Edwards looking to get it down low, and Taylor bats it away. Over to Barris. Barris off the pick, drives inside, kicks out. Henniger is not there, and it goes out of bounds.
And I hate to say that one basketball play can make a difference, but especially this early. But a stop on defense, a basket down here will give us an early indication of what the third quarter is going to look like.
Taylor with the ball up top. Goes over to Carroll. Carroll went to go down low with it. He lost a handle on it. Luckily tipped out of bounds off of the hands of Riverton, and that will stay with the Mustangs. Johnson will inbound.
And I had an old high school coach, Lynn Christensen. He always talked about angles and percentages, and that's one of them right there, where you just one dribble, reach in there, and get it to the big guy at the best position.
Johnson goes down low. Lindquist spins it around, and he is fouled, trying to go up top with it. Fouled by Edwards. He'll hit the line.
We call that getting caught in no man's land, and sometimes the ref will throw you a life preserver and pull you out of the water.
So Lindquist has a chance to earn a couple from the stripe. Young sophomore gets the starting position here for the Mustangs.
I think we need to have a little fact check on Big Henniger. Is he a football player too? Big offensive lineman?
If he's not an offensive lineman, I'm sure that there's a head football coach somewhere in Riverton, Utah, shaking his head.
And I think we did a game on the Fan Sports Network last year with Riverton and saw him.
We did, actually, yes, for the same thing, for the Coach Walker Classic. Lindquist makes both.
And just like that, it's 28-19. You got a 9-point game. Crimson looks like they're going to throw a little full court pressure on here.
Lindquist pick it up. Barrett. Barrett loses the ball into the hands of Taylor. Taylor outlets the Lindquist quick on the other side. A little give and go. Missed shot, but Phelps is there to clean it up.
whenever I missed a shot like that, I would always say it was a pass.
It was a pass off the rim. That's what it was. A pass off the rim. Timeout taken. We'll take a timeout ourselves. 30 seconds. We'll return right after this.
What's up, sports fans? It's Blair Fry with the Fry team at Red Rock Real Estate. Let's be honest. You know what's addicting? Football. You know what else is addicting? Looking for homes or investment properties. Let the Fry team at Red Rock Real Estate coach you through your real estate addictions.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing.
Coming out of the timeout here is Crimson Cliffs and Riverton battling it out. Crimson Cliffs has had a, if you take the end of the second quarter and the beginning of the third, they've had a quick swing of things, and now it's 28-21. You always love to keep it within those double-digit borders there, and they were able to get back into that just barely here in the third quarter. Started out with an 11-point deficit, and now it's 28-21 here.
And momentum for Crimson. Again, it'll be interesting to see what they drop right here and what Crimson is. Looks like a little bit of a man-to-man so far.
Johnson picks up Barrett, gets it over to Henninger up top. Henninger hands off to Barris. Barris with the drive inside, has to go right back out with it. No, he spins out, has an open lane to the basket. The defense gave him an open look. It's Taylor with it up top, over to Johnson on the left side. He hands off to Lindquist. Looking down low off the hands of Johnson. There's a foul.
And that's looks like the second or third team foul on Riverton. That'll be something to watch. As now the new rule this year, 5 team fouls in a quarter, automatic 2 foul shots.
Lindquist pushes it up, rolls it around, not there. Feltz with the putback. He's got 12.
Back to 7 again, 30-23, just over 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third.
Up top with it is Johnson, who hands it off. Going inside, Allred kicks out to Barris. Barris drives. Taylor puts the stop to that, and he has to go out to Barrett up top. 15 on the shot clock, looking for the pick. Swings it across. Again, Johnson. Going up against Johnson. Kick out 3, Allred, yes!
And that's a little bit of a heartbreaker because he looked off balance late in the clock, and those are the ones you hate to see go in if you're Crimson.
Now it's Carroll. Takes it with that right hand inside, hands off to Feltz. Feltz, top of the key, over to Taylor. Taylor over to Johnson. Johnson getting it down low to Feltz. He goes up with a hook shot and in for 2. Sean Feltz is feeling it.
Big Sean with 6 early in the second half here.
33-25. Driving inside, Johnson rebounded Feltz, no good, and scoop the other direction. Carroll on the fast break. Euro in, what a play!
Thank you, Mano Ginobili, for bringing the Euro step to America. We salute you.
And driving in, a little drag of the foot. The crowd wanted the travel, but they got a Sean Feltz block instead. It's a 2-on-2 scoop for the scoop and score.
And Caden, we talked about it in the halftime show about who will have the energy in the second half. I think so far you have to say it was Crimson.
And a foul will slow things down a little bit. Riverton needed that little bit of a break here because, as you mentioned, yes, all of the momentum in favor of the Mustangs right now. The inbound pass to Johnson. He goes up with it for an easy bucket. Lindquist. The left-hand dribble picks up and gives it to Taylor. Taylor up top, Feltz. Feltz right back to Taylor, and Carroll now drives baseline. Tried to kick it out, but it is tipped out of bounds by Allred.
And we talked about the fundamentals of the game. That's one where I'd just like to see Carroll come to a jump stop, make a fake, and actually find the appropriate guy on the play. Sometimes they get too big of a hurry.
Johnson inbounds to Carroll. He kicks back out to Lindquist. Lindquist on the drive. He stops at the foul line. Pump fake to the jumper, had nowhere to go, gets it to Feltz down low. Feltz spins back, puts it up, catches the rim.
And
Big Sean with 16 tonight.
And I absolutely love that post move. He just waited just a second, gave a little shoulder fake, cleared out the weak side defense, went to his strong hand with the jump hook.
Barris gets the pick from Henniger. Got Feltz in the air, get it to Henniger. He had to kick out. There's a lane. A little stop and go. No, nothing there. Feltz is so big down low, they don't want to put it up against him as Carroll drives and he draws a foul.
And a couple of times we've seen someone leave the ball before they actually distributed the ball to somebody else. That's one where you never want to leave the basketball. Only one thing can score, and it's got to be the ball.
That's right. So Drake Carroll will head to the line. 35-31 here. Riverton leads in the third.
As you can see Drake Carroll down there saying, I'm pretty sure I was shooting on that one, as the ref said, yeah, that's what they all say.
I thought he was shooting too, so I guess I'm with him as he passes inside. Johnson puts up the shot from 10 feet out. It's no good.
And those are the tough shots that we haven't seen in the second half. You get it down to Big Sean, let him operate in space.
Barrett loses the handle into the hands of Allred. It's tipped away and Scoop, no. Scoop had it for a second, but now Barris and Scoop with the reach-in foul.
Couple of half-court fouls there. I like the aggressiveness, though. I think you got to be aggressive in those situations.
Johnson into Edwards, kick back out. Going with the left hand is Allred. Over to Barrett, now to Barris. Again over to Edwards. Edwards now back to Barris, looking for the pick. He takes it to the right side. Pushes up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Scoop. Mustangs bring it to the other side with 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Johnson ball on the left wing. Gets it down low. Quick pass down to Feltz. Feltz will be fouled by Edwards.
And you can almost see the body language on Big Sean Feltz saying, finally, they've been fouling me all game.
I was just about to say, with Feltz down there, Henniger sitting on the bench, they need to take advantage of it, but right on cue, Henniger checks it to the game, and Edwards will hit the bench with another foul.
And not only is he the tallest guy, he might have the best hair in high school basketball.
He might. Lindquist with the missed shot brings it to the other side for Riverton. Edwards down low. Taylor puts up the hands. Good defense from Taylor, but he shoots right over the top of it. Bucket for Von Johnson.
And that's a painful one because Lindquist had an easy little bank shot there. Turns into almost a 4-point play.
Jump ball is the call with 2:32 on the clock. 37-31, Riverton leads on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Johnson will inbound. He goes up top to Lindquist. Lindquist dribbles it over to the right side, takes it back to the left to Taylor. Johnson in the left corner, goes up top to Feltz. Feltz to the right side to Carroll, gets the pick. A step inside the three-point line is no good. Henniger tips it out to Barrett, who fast to the other side. He hands it off to Barris, and they will slow it down and reset here. Lindquist on top of Barrett, but he gets it to go over the outstretched hand of Taylor. On the fadeaway is Feltz on the other end. It's not there. Ball goes out of bounds. It is Riverton basketball.
And 39-31, just under 2 minutes in the third. Looks like we're also going to have a timeout here. But a little bit of momentum shift back to Riverton as we get down to the final wire in the second half.
And 1:52 left to go. As you mentioned, 39-31. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we will be back after these messages from our local sponsors.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that could make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks A stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
39-31, Riverton on top over the Mustangs right now. Inside the Boulevard Home Game of the Week. Boulevard Home making your house a home for nearly 50 years here in southern Utah, and with locations not just in southern Utah. They've moved on to Vegas as well.
Cedar City, St. George, Vegas.
They're all over the place now.
And they've been a longtime sponsor of local high school sports, as of course a leader in the community.
Absolutely. For
and
many,
a
many years.
low-scoring game here, 39-31, just under 2 minutes in the third. Well, there should be an exciting finish to the third quarter.
The great thing is the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert has been reached already by other teams as the straightaway three goes down for Riker Karekis. In the corner, Lindquist, he takes the open three and drains it.
And that was almost one where both Scoop and Lindquist didn't quite know that he was wide open. It's like, go to the open places in the floor.
Well, he took the step in and you see him step right back out. He knew it was there as Barris takes the open three to answer back. No, Johnson gets the board. And Nelson, who has checked back into the game, now controls it for the Mustangs. He goes to Taylor. Taylor will take the open shot. It rolls around no good, rebounded by Barris. He will slow it down here with a minute left to go in the third. It's Karekis getting it down low, and the offensive foul against Christian Henninger.
And big Christian Henninger saying, I thought I had to catch the ball and be able to land before someone could get underneath me. But I think he's used to feeling like everyone's getting fouled by the big fella. That is a big boy right there.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He doesn't need to move much to take someone out either, I'm sure of it. He's a strong kid.
But this is where I would bring him out in a pick and roll situation and try and get him moving and something open up, as you see a little bit of a isolation there on the block.
Nelson, he drives inside, he kicks out to Taylor. Taylor Johnson, who's wide open for three, boom!
And maybe one of the best team plays I've seen all season. Penetration, swing one more to the open guy and get the best shot available. 4-point game with just under 30.
Johnson up top. Over to Barris, up top to Barrett. 21 seconds left in the third. Barrett picked up by Nelson, up top by the logo. It's tipped away. Barrett remains in control of it. He drives inside over the outstretched hand of Taylor, who fouls him, and he will head to the line.
And as we mentioned, Noah Nelson on ball and Scoop Johnson on ball are some of the most intimidating on-ball defenders. Almost a steal into a transition fast break to make it a 2-point game. But as Lady Luck shows her face, a foul and maybe some momentum back in Riverton's favor. And are these the only, is that the first point for him in the second half, Caden? I think so.
I think it might be, yeah. He's at 15 now. He was at 14 at the half. That is true. And now make that 16 for Evan Barrett.
What's interesting about that is sometimes a guy will see the ball go in. It'll give him some momentum.
Taylor on the drive. He has a lane to the basket. It's not there. Offensive board. Back up and under. It's good for Jaden Eaton. He gets his first points of the night, and it is still 39-43, a 4-point ball game as we head to the fourth quarter here on the Fan Sports Network. 45 seconds. We'll be right back after this.
Red Rock Real Estate has over 200 professional realtors in the St. George area that specialize in the local market. Whether you're buying your dream home, looking for an investment property, or want to sell your home for the highest amount, the Red Rock Real Estate team is here to assist you. Get started now by visiting redrockrealestate.com.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Oh, cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
We love giving back to our community, and over the years, we have provided vehicles for families in need, supported local charities, and helped train our first responders. Dealer Collision, your place for collision repair.
Some good ball movement late in the third leads to some scoring from Crimson Cliffs, and it's a 4-point ball game, 43-39.
And really, we talked about it in the timeout right there, Caden. One of the better plays we've seen in the year for high school basketball, maybe in the last couple of seasons, where everything just looked right. You can almost feel it as an observer of the game. It's like, okay, Scoop is going to make this because it was bang, bang, wide open, and he knocked it down.
Johnson inbounds to Barrett, and we get started with the fourth quarter. Here we go. Barrett picked up by Nelson. He takes to the right side, spins out to the left. Krekus goes inside to Henninger. Henninger, Johnson tips it away and into the hands of his own teammate, Barrett. And now Barris with 16 on the shot clock resets. Barrett crosses it over to Johnson inside Krekus, blocked away by Feltz. Nelson threads the needle to Carroll on the fast break, and it's in for 2.
Great team defense leads to transition basketball, and Drake Carroll in the open court is gonna like his chances in that situation.
43-41. Carroll with a little bit of a hand check foul there.
And I like being, when the momentum speeds up and it gets more physical, I like to see that kind of play just look the other way in that instance. You could probably call those all game.
Yeah, it's not much contact. There's always something there. As the inbound pass comes into Barris, he goes up top to Allred. Now to Edwards. Edwards hands off to Johnson. Johnson looks for the pick from Edwards. Back to Krekus, who goes down low to Edwards. No, the ball falls into the hands of Barris, who drives inside. Feltz is there to stop it. He has to kick out to Krekus. Foul line jumper off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Edwards. Edwards kicks out. Krekus swings it over to Barris. Barris on the left wing takes a dribble inside. And now it's Edwards again. Hands off to Johnson. Johnson at the foul line, nowhere to go. Goes to Barris. Barris has to stop. He puts up the 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Another offensive rebound and a foul against Sean Feltz.
And Caden, this is the problem when you don't get stops like that, is they eat the clock, they eat your energy, they eat your battery. You gotta box out and finish the play in those situations. But if you're Crimson, you're saying to yourself, hey, we can get stops, let's finish the deal.
That's right. Allred to inbound. Gets it up top to Johnson. Johnson had the open look. He takes it a little late. Misses, but the offensive board by Edwards. He puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded. Feltz saves it from going out of bounds, and Eaton controls it.
I don't know how you would describe that, Caden. A little bit of a circus.
A little bit. The Mustangs live through all of that, all of those offensive rebounds as Nelson takes the 3. No.
He's a great shooter. That's a good shot. You got to live with that. Let's see if you can get another stop on the defensive end.
Barris sets up on the left wing. Goes up top looking for a pick. Instead goes into the corner to Johnson, who takes it, and he gets it to go for 3.
And probably just a little bit too much space. I think anytime you see a guy wearing number 30 these days, it's like when I played and someone would wear 23, you knew they were an athlete and thought they were Jordan.
Lindquist goes up with it. Rolls around the rim, not there. And it's rebounded by Barris, who goes into the corner. Krekus 3. Off the front, no good. Offensive rebound, put back. There's a foul on the floor. They didn't say it was an and one necessarily.
Yeah, I think this is an over the back. I don't know if we can go to the replay and get a better look. It looks like
shot.
Yep, over the back. That's the right call. I love when the officials will actually conference up and say, hey, I had a really good angle of this. I could see a little bit of a push. That's a good job by the officiating crew.
I like that as well. Before the official call comes out, they conference about it. I'm fine with that.
And quickly, right? Like so many times we're seeing now in the last couple of years, this where they hold a board meeting, they take votes. In this instance, it was a quick huddle, quick decision. You had the angle, I'm going with you. And I think 9 out of 10 times that's going to be the right call.
Drake Carroll brings the ball up for the Mustangs. 46-41. Riverton leads. Nelson on the drive. He goes outside to Lindquist, who pulls the quick 3, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Silverwolves. Here comes Barrett. Barrett has the ball tipped around, and he has to pick up his dribble. Picked up again, and on the ground is Nelson. Goes over to Edwards. Edwards takes it up top, over to the right side now.
And you can see the defensive intensity has been turned up a couple of notches. It's just, can they get a stop and a rebound?
Johnson got in the way of that. Lindquist has to slow down on the fast break. He kicks it over to Eaton, and Eaton will bring it back up top to Nelson, and the Mustangs will set up the offense.
And it feels like Crimson's just one basket away from having some momentum.
Missed basket there by Eaton, and it is Johnson taking it the other way. 46-41 with 4:20 left to play in this ball game.
And somebody's got to take the ball, Caden. That's the old don't leave the basketball.
On the drive is Allred. He has to put on the brakes. Gets out to Johnson. Johnson with the drive inside. Leaves Edwards open. He gets the shot to go.
And it looks like we'll see Big Sean Feltz and Scoop Johnson come in here for the final 4 minutes, as it's a 7-point game now as we wind down the fourth quarter.
Lindquist gets it inside to Carroll. Carroll puts up the shot and one. Carroll with 10.
And nothing like seeing the ball go in after it feels like someone's put some saran wrap over the top for 2 or 3 minutes.
As you mentioned, Johnson checks in, Feltz checks in. Lineup for the Mustangs, you have Feltz, Johnson, Carroll, Nelson, and Taylor. And the extra point is good for Drake Carroll, puts him at 11.
Hard to believe we have a 4-point ball game with just under 4 minutes. What felt like it was going to be a potential blowout in that second quarter. And it looked like he'd stepped right out of bounds there.
Just about, he was close. And Johnson spins around, it's not there. Feltz with the big rebound. And here come the Mustangs. Throwing the ball away is Taylor. Taylor was looking for Johnson, and Johnson was just not that step ahead.
And I love that right there, right? Obviously a miscommunication, but at the end of it, the two guys go, they slap hands, they give 5 and say, hey, who doesn't matter whose fault it is, let's get out and ball.
And now it's Von Johnson on the dribble. And a little bit of a bump there from Noah Nelson.
And I know Coach Murdoch doesn't like that, but I think, and here's why, there's 3 fouls, 2 more, that puts him in the double bonus. But I like the intensity in this second half for Crimson. They've moved, they've flown around, they've been in the gap, they've been talking and communicating.
Bears with the quick 3, and he drops it in.
With the exception of that moment, of course, the old announcer's curse.
Johnson swinging the ball around. Now Lindquist, who's just checked back into the game again. Feltz down low on the block. He puts up the hook shot. It's not there, but a foul.
And one of the hardest things to do when you get a new guy subbing in, you have to communicate and know where you're at on the floor. An easy basket there for Riverton. Number 30 is a shooter. Again, I've said you got to be leery of anybody that is wearing number 30 these days in honor of Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters, if not the greatest shooter in NBA history.
You think there's a debate for that?
I mean,
this point in his
career,
career,
you've got some better pure shooters, like guys like Glenn Rice. Was an incredible shooter at all levels, maybe a better college shooter than Steph Curry, but I think his overall body of work, I think you have to give it to Steph Curry. He's put the time in. Nobody puts more time into their game than that guy. And
has been elite for so many years as well.
And undersized. I mean, when you think about that at the NBA level with all those athletes, is just a heck of a shooter.
Misses one, makes the next for Sean Feltz.
And I like this. 3 minutes left, 51-45. You're down 6. Get a quick timeout, regroup. Let's make sure we get a stop and a bucket down here.
With that timeout, we'll take one ourselves. 45 seconds, and we'll be back right after this on the Fan Sports Network.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cass Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC.
Coming back out of this timeout break here, it's 51-45. Riverton leads on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Make sure to light it up at Wilkinson's. Locals shop at Wilkinson's. Winners of Best of Southern Utah 5 years in a row.
And speaking of scoreboard, we do have a final from across town at Desert Hills. 65-54, Desert Hills over Logan.
And Logan's been really good this year, so that's a great win for Desert Hills.
Double-digit win over Pineview early in the season, and Desert Hills picks up a critical win in their preseason.
That's big time. 2:57 on the clock as Riverton controls possession of it. Barris on the left wing, dribbling in, back out, off to Johnson.
And I like that, a little inadvertent play there, but a little three-quarter court trap coming out of the timeout by Coach Murdoch and the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. Didn't work out initially, but a little bit of pressure sometimes leads into bad things.
Yep, over and back is the call, and now Mustangs get possession. Scoop Johnson will control it. Scoop gets it across the half-court line with 2:37 left to play. He'll pull it straight away, no good. Rebound by Carroll. And the Mustangs again control it. Johnson goes up and under and catches the rim for two.
And a great decision. Could have forced it up as we see Crimson jump back into this trap. See if they can create something defensively. Oh, and he puts it in the coffin corner.
And an over and back call again.
The old grade school coaching decision right there. You say never pick the ball up across half court in the corner. You're giving it an extra defender.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You find yourself in a literal corner right there, because Carroll takes the inbound pass with 2:12 left to play. 51-47. Riverton leads. Johnson over to Taylor. Taylor drives on Johnson, spins around, pushes it in for two.
And I think acrobatic is probably the best way to describe that one, Caden.
And again, ball on the ground. Bodies on the ground.
You can hear the crowd trying to settle in with this hectic play right here.
And shots up, no good. Rebound, Johnson.
Wow. I broke a sweat just watching that as we see Scoop come in with the, off the glass.
Another one.
To the big fella who says, salut.
Sean Phelps ties his ball game at 51.
Just about 1:15 left in the fourth here.
And an open lane to the basket gives Riverton the lead again.
And as we said, you just can't leave the basketball.
Lindquist up top with the ball, a minute left to play in this ball game.
And suddenly the crowd has come alive here as Drake Carroll fires a three. And gets the roll.
Whoa!
Be interesting to see if we see a timeout as they bring it up to half court. They call the foul, which is okay, Caden, because this is just 4. Wow. Almost feel like we need a timeout just to catch our breath.
That's right. The Cache Valley Bank three-pointer there from Drake Carroll. We haven't had many threes in this ball game.
Just 3 for Crimson.
Not many, not many.
They're averaging just under 1 3-pointer a quarter.
They've done it the old-fashioned way. Three-pointer from Barris on the other side. It's missed and a board by Scoop Johnson.
Now this is where the shot clock comes into factor with about a 7-second differential. Probably going to wait it out to see if Riverton can get the stop on defense.
And it's Nelson over to Johnson with 18 on the shot clock. Johnson with the ball up top. He drives in, has a lane, loses it out of bounds. No, it's off of Riverton.
And if you're Riverton, remember, you got 3 fouls. There's 13 left on the shot clock. You know, this is one where I could see them. If you're beat, I would wrap them up real quick and take the 4th foul. But this is one where if you're Crimson, man, if you can get a basket here, you may very well seal the deal. If not, you're going to have to wait stressfully.
Johnson inbounds to Taylor. 18 on the clock, 10 on the shot clock.
I like something with the screen with Big Sean here and get Henniger moving.
Johnson, he'll put up the shot. It's not there. It's rebounded, tipped. It's rebounded by the Mustangs. They have to call it dead. The ball hit the rim, but the shot clock never reset. So they put a break on to the action here. 5 seconds left to go.
And this is one where I wish the refs would look up here. Because they just got that one wrong. It hit the rim.
It hit the rim. It hit the rim. I don't know what the shot clock violation is for here because it 100% hit the rim.
I hope they can figure this out. I wish we could
I wish we had instant replay
here and actually see that play, because this would be a heartbreaking way. It hit the rim clearly. You hope that with 3 guys out there as we watch it, that they would be able to identify that. But you know what? The refs are humans. We don't got robots doing it yet.
Checking it out on our own replay, and yeah, I mean, I think it touched rim right there. They say no.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
We had a pretty good angle of it up here, but you know, look. Luckily, it's not for the state championship. Even the refs have a preseason.
Even the refs have
I'm sure we've got some viewers at home or some listeners on the radio on the Fan Sports Network saying, what? You're defending the refs?
As we do. We try to give our refs the benefit of the doubt as much as we possibly can.
And you just hope at this point that it's not a factor. You hope that it just, you know, it doesn't come into play. You never want to have the refs be the story of the game.
Well, and with 5 seconds left, even if it is Riverton basketball here, which I believe it probably is, the way that it looks like they're setting things up, that doesn't give Riverton anything guaranteed here. They still have to earn a basket as they're down 53-54.
I like the decision putting Big Sean on the basketball. It's going to make it a little more difficult. If you're Crimson here also, you want to be telling the guys there's 5 seconds. Make them catch the ball in front of you, going away from the basket, not anywhere where they can get some momentum. Again, looking at the scoreboard, there's 14 fouls. 1 foul will send them to the line for 2. You don't want that to happen. So force a guy to his weak hand, make it a desperation shot.
And no fouls either. Any foul here sends him to the line. So you have to be careful. 7 on the shot on the clock. They inbound to Barrett. Barrett with 5 crosses the half-court line. He has a lane to the basket. Gets it to go. Off the backboard and in. They're cheering, but the officials are saying, hold on, game's not over yet. They're telling them, get back to the bench, it's not done.
And, you know, look, this is a learning experience. It's a preseason game. But here's my 2 cents on defense. Make a guy go where he doesn't want to go. He's a right-handed player. You let him catch it 3/4 of the court and dribble it all the way with his strong hand. Make him go left, right? If you're a right-handed basketball player, you don't want to go left. You grew up dribbling with your right hand all day. You didn't work on your left. That's one of those instances where it's like, it's a higher percentage shot, dribbling all the way to his right, to his strong hand. Make him try that with a left-handed dribble and a left-handed finish.
That's right. So the officials talking with the scores table into the scoreboard, and they're letting them know, hey, let's put X amount of time on the clock. It looked like about like 1.3 or 4 still on the clock, but to give those listeners on the radio a little bit of a picture of what happened is Mr. Barrett, who that would be points number 8, 9, oh boy, 20. Yeah.
He gets to 20, catches it at about the volleyball line of Crimson side, dribbles all the way down with his right hand, throws it off the glass. A little bit of a desperation, but goes in. Crowd celebrates, but I think ultimately there was probably a little bit of time on the clock. So
yeah,
interesting to see what they're going to do here. My thought would be throw it the length of the court to Big Sean Feltz, hope that he can catch it, maybe hurry and quick pass to someone else, or just turn around and launch one.
What I would love to see is, baseball pass all the way down to Feltz for just a full court alley-oop. Give him something fun to play with here.
Yeah, and you wonder here if Riverton, you know, if same thing we said there, make them catch it going away from the basket.
And 0.8 is what they end up putting on the clock, so not a lot of time here. Carroll will inbound. They're doing the same thing. Put the big guy on the inbound pass as Henninger will defend the inbound pass from Carroll. 0.8 to go. Carroll on the move, gets it to Johnson. Johnson with the heave. Not there.
Kind of looked like it had a chance.
It looked like it had a chance. And that is the final score, 55 52-54. A heartbreaking loss for the Mustangs here this evening.
You hate to say it, but that was a ref victory tonight.
Bit.
Those two teams fought really hard, but we had a great angle. We've got the convenience of instant replay to see that it just grazed the rim and dropped into Drake Carroll's hand without the shot clock really expiring.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly right. So again, final score on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard, 55-54. Inside our Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show here on the Fan Sports Network. We want to give them a shout out, thank them for being a great sponsor as well. Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, check out that new patient special. You can give them a call, 435-656-0511. Dr. Cody making your kids feel right at home at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. Well, let's talk a little bit about it here. Evan Barrett for Riverton, 20 points. Sean Feltz with 19. Sean gave it his all there with the scoring in the second half, and really leading Crimson through that third and fourth.
Yeah, I really think, again, we opened tonight's broadcast talking about this being a preseason game and the importance of a preseason game. And I think what you saw tonight was something you can really take and build upon as you head into tomorrow's game against Cottonwood if you're Crimson, because that third quarter and much of the fourth quarter is exactly how Crimson has to play. If you're Riverton, you know, you're happy with the last second win, and you kind of forget about some of the little things and go, hey, we found a way to win. But if you're Crimson, you got to go, okay, what can we learn from that? And I think you'll see, you know, as you watch the tape, yes, it's going to be easy to say, well, the refs cost us this one. But, you know, luckily it's not a region game. Luckily it's not in the state tournament. You'd hate to see any of that really have a factor there. Of course, it'll factor in on any RPI. But ultimately, a lot of positives in the second half as Crimson outplayed Riverton.
Yeah, they really did. That second half was all Crimson. Crimson was the better team through the second half. And again, it just comes down to those final few minutes. It was a little back and forth there, some big plays. Got to give a shout out. I think our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker play of the game. You got to go to Drake Carroll's 3 to take the lead right there. Shooting it over his own teammate and Sean Feltz. I got to give him credit for that. That was a big play.
That was a critical play. It touched every part of the rim and went in. A little bit of shooter's touch. And certainly his shot has improved as the season's gone along. But I agree. What a great play. That was kind of the momentum shift in the entire game for Crimson, where that was the moment that it finally put them up, I believe, by one.
Put them up by one, 54-53 at the time. So it was a big play. Drake Carroll making big moves, and he had a good second half as well.
He did. As a second leading scorer there with, I think he had 14. Looks like 14 on the score sheet here. Of course, Sean Feltz, as you mentioned, with 19. Trevor Taylor, 4. McKay Lindquist, 5. And a little bit of an off night for their leading scorer, Scoop Luke Johnson, with 7 only. Obviously, some shots that everybody was going to want back in a low-scoring affair. But we said it. This is the preseason for a reason. And you got to be able to dust yourself off because you got a 1:30 tip tomorrow afternoon. That's a quick turnaround.
It is a quick turnaround. Go home and get some good sleep, take some melatonin, and rest that body up and get ready for tomorrow. Our Hearst Ace Hardware player of the game, Ben, you know, you obviously, if you're looking at the Riverton side, Evan Barrett was the guy. He scored 20 for you.
With the game winner.
And he hit the game winner. I mean, that's pretty obvious mark right there for the Riverton Silverwolves point guard. He had a phenomenal game. And then really for the Crimson side, it goes to Sean Feltz.
Right.
Big blocks, lots of scoring. He did a little bit of everything, and he really was the MVP there for the Mustangs tonight.
Yeah, he had a great second half. It looked like he played with the most purpose he's played with all season, where in the second half he was coming to the ball better. He was more patient on the block, running in transition and rebounding. Those are all of the things that Coach Murdoch and the Crimson Cliff squad is going to need from the big fella, Sean Feltz.
In talking about our Jersey Mike's sub of the game.
Oh, every time we say that, I feel like I want to run over there and get it Mike's way, get the Italian.
Oh,
maybe the number 2. Oof.
Yeah, and I love their Philly cheesesteaks. Always one of my favorites.
My goodness. What time is it?
I know, right? You still got time. Coming off the bench for Crimson, you mentioned it when he hit the floor. Noah Nelson brought the energy, and he continued to bring the energy. He was poking past his way out of bounds. He had a couple that led to steals themselves. Yeah, he didn't get a ton in the scoring aspect. He had 3 points, but he brought some needed energy to the team, especially in moments where they really needed the energy to come in.
Yeah, Noah is instant energy off the bench. He's great on-ball defense and a above-average shooter. And I think for Crimson, this is going to be the case all year. They're going to need somebody like Noah to step up, 1 or 2 guys to come off the bench and give them something more all season long for them to be competitive.
Absolutely. And with that just about wraps it up for us here from Crimson Cliffs High School. And we are, again, wrapping up day 2 of the Coach Walker Classic. There are more games going on tomorrow. If you want that schedule of events, head on over to the fansportsnetwork.com. Click on the Region 9 tab, and you'll see Coach Walker Classic page right there. Just make sure you scroll down to the bottom. You'll see where that schedule of events is located. You can check out the times and places where these games will be tomorrow. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up and get on out of here. I want to thank Paul back in the studio for taking care of things on the radio side. We had Sky running camera. Thank her, and Ken producing tonight, and for Ben and myself. Have a good night, everybody, and we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back with you next week for some region action here on the Fan Sports Network.